Buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster ride of some tasteless humor, lots of heart, and radical truth with two scrappy chicks. Because adulting is hard, but we are thinking that laughing about it is just so much easier. Hey, welcome back. 2026, Season 2, Episode 1. Um, and if you didn't see, I did release a bonus episode on Friday, the 2nd, with Ashley. So be sure to go and download. Um, we are pretty much everywhere you could think of. Your Alexa. I don't want to say it because it will go off.
Right.
YouTube, voice only. Um, we're working on being comfortable with video, so stay tuned. Amazon Music and I believe Audible. I myself have an Android phone and I use AntennaPod, love it. Um, iHeart, you can listen to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, um, pretty much everywhere that you listen to a podcast, we should be there. And if we're not, let me know, and I will make sure to go on there. The nice thing about we upload to Buzzsprout, it tells us where people are listening from, and it also tells us the city and the state and the country. So if you say, "Oh yeah, I'm listening," and I don't see your city, I'm going to shame you. Downloads count. Um, I really haven't thought about like the whole New Year's resolution and stuff and that because some people will say it and then it just goes out the window within 3 weeks. But one thing, I was asked, so hey, are you making money off this podcast? And I said, no. Well, why are you doing it? And I said, well, our number one reason is to help people. We feel with what we've been through and other people and what they have been through. Everyone has a story, and there are people on our list to interview. So that was our main goal is to help people, and I enjoy it. This is fun. Um, and the last part is, would we like to make this profitable? Absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't? So that is where we stand with that. And do we want to do our chame 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 now?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So chame chame chame. I like to pick up groceries, and there is allotted spots for that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
very annoying when you pull up and you don't see anyone in the car and they had parked to go in the store because they're like, oh, this is a close parking spot. And I've seen it a lot at Jewel, and I'm just like, really? Now the only time I will do that is after I do a pickup. If I have to run into the pharmacy, um, I'll do that, but I'm not disrespectful and take the spots. Honestly, I rather park the farthest from the store than the closest because easy to get out of the parking lot because I don't know what's with people lately, just driving nutty, even in parking lots, on the street and tailing you and being bullies on the road. I believe we got to reteach people how to drive again and be respectful. And speaking of driving, I'll talk about my issues with driving. I used to love to drive everywhere. Um, didn't care day, night, middle of the night. Well, must be an age thing because now I dislike driving. The less I drive, the best. I was just looking at my mileage. For the year, I've only put 10,000 miles on my vehicle, and that's about average what I've been doing. And that's a little under what they say. I think they say average person does 12,000 or more. So my issue with driving, I was told back in like 2017 that I had a speck of cataract in my right eye. And so it was important to do yearly checkups with the eye doctor. And it was getting worse, but slowly. And then I was realizing like 2 years ago at night, I'm like, okay, those headlights have halos, the stoplights have halos, and then I almost hit a freaking median. So I'm like, okay, I better go to the eye doctor. So I had to go to the specialist and they do all these tests. My God, I think I was there for 2 hours the first time. And then he says, okay, well, yeah, your cataract is bad in your right eye. And he goes, but it's really progressing in your left eye. And I'm like, what? I was like, no way. So I had the right eye done first. And let me tell you, after I had that eye done, I was like, oh my God, white is white. Pretty much. And I couldn't tell you how long I was living like that because my eyes kept changing every 9 months. Um, it was like a yellow screen over my eyes. And once they did the cataract surgery and I seen the colors, I was like, oh my God. And then I could also read the guide on the TV. And I got the astigmatism lens in the right eye, which insurance doesn't cover. So I had to choke out that money. And I got a regular one in the left eye. And it's just amazing. Now, I could have went bougie, but like I said, it would have been out of pocket. Insurance will just pay for a basic. But I could have went bougie where I wouldn't need readers. And I was like, nah, that's a little bit too much. If money wasn't an option, I would have done it. But I just went with what was best for me. So it's amazing that I can see, and I actually got to go get a checkup because there is a possibility cataracts will come back, but the good news is I don't have to undergo surgery. They just laser it right there in the office. And it won't happen to everybody, but I need to go get it checked just to make sure. I don't feel like there's any issue. I don't see halos or anything. It's awesome. It's just un not I don't know if I want to say not well lit areas, like living in smaller towns. It is not well lit like where I came from up north. And that's what I struggle with, especially when I take the back roads. And I rather take back roads, less traffic on there. Because like I said, people just want you to go above the speed limit. If you're not doing the speed limit, they're like tailing you right on your rear end. So, I had to go get my hair done yesterday, and I would be driving in the dark coming home, and I was just like, ugh, just not liking it. And the way I took um not back roads, but I avoided the highway going there yesterday because they said there was a section on 355, well, near 355 on 55, potholes, and like numerous people's rims were dented from hitting it. And I was just like, oh no, I need to avoid that because my rims are too much money to be messing up. So I avoided it and took just uh just went through several towns just to get all the way up to Arlington Heights. But I was brave and took the highway home. And um, when Marie's available, I have her on the phone to keep me company while I'm driving. So that works. But if she's not available, and my daughter's not available, I'll just put podcasts on or my audiobooks. And one thing Mel Robbins had talked about with fear, her issue is with flying. So what she does is she pictures where she's going to be, where she's going to once she's done flying. So my visual was after I'm done with my hair and I get home, I'm gonna be in my recliner and I'm gonna be eating my Portillos and watching Stranger Things, which I was, but I end up watching Bachelor Nation. I just found out they have a Bachelor Nation channel, so I've been watching all old Bachelor stuff. Um, Big Bachelor fan. I've watched it from the beginning and I still watch it, even though it's not as good. And hopefully, with the new season coming up in the spring, it will get better. So, and then I kept saying to myself, you know what? Once you're done driving and the next day you're going to go, what were you afraid of? You did fine. And you know what? I did. I did do fine. It wasn't that bad. And even though it was cloudy, it was super moon. It is a little brighter when it is a full moon, but just something I need to get over with this fear of driving in the dark. We think it kind of stems from the fact that uh, I hit a deer. It was dark. When I was hit by a drunk driver as a teenager, it was raining in the dark. When I was rear-ended on 80, it was in the dark. It was February and it was freezing rain. So I think those kind of like s still like the memories still kind of stick with me, but I got to keep saying to myself, you know, you're fine, nothing, bad is going to happen. And I know other people um don't enjoy driving in the dark, and I guess it comes with age. When you get older, you don't like to do things you used to do when you were younger, and like stay up late. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. And so that is my story with driving, um, and how it correlates to our chame chame chame. The other chame 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 is be aware of what you say to people, that you don't hurt their feelings, like make like giving them your opinion on their looks, or their house or stuff like that, because that's really hurtful. So just be aware of what you say to people. And let's see, we'll get to talk about the holidays. um I got a text from my brother. As I had said before, I'm estranged from most of my siblings. He said Merry Christmas. He texted two other sisters. Of course, not the one sister that I do talk to. And I waited a little bit, and then the one sister replied. I'm like, okay, I won't be a Scrooge. I'll reply. So I did. And of course, the last one, nothing. The last time I had any communication with that one was COVID, and she wanted me to drive over 700 miles to my nephew's wedding, and I was just like, no way, not during COVID. And I really didn't have it in me to drive far. Um, I don't know. I just I think I like being home too much. So, I mean, that's fine. She didn't come to my daughter's wedding. As I've said in the past, I have gone to stuff for all their kids in that, and when you put on paper how many times it was reciprocated, there is no comparison. It's like barely. So, and um, New Year's Day, I had a missed video call from my brother. I'm like, okay. And I kind of got a little excited. Oh, okay. Well, then I texted him and he goes, oh yeah, sorry, wrong button. Hope you are well. And I'm just like, really? And I was like, okay, you know what? Done. I'm not gonna even try anymore. because I'm done getting my hopes up and disappointed and hurt. So, um, back to that's what it is and what it will be, and that that's that. Um, so right now, um, I'm we could play what series have you not watched? One of them I've not watched. Maybe I will. Is Breaking Bad. Never watched that. I did watch some of Better Call Saul.
Oh
So
my God. You are so far behind.
I know.
You
So
have got to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul in that order.
yes,
They are phenomenal. Just saying.
yes, because then they made a movie that was pertaining to Better
Yes.
Call Saul, and I watched that too.
Yes.
And I should have
Well, and,
watched Breaking
and there
Bad.
was another one too with Jesse from Breaking Bad. He has a movie too, El Camino.
Yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good, I know.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, you're far behind, girl.
I am. I am. But you know what? Compared to what we grew up with, there's too many options and choices. And like at night, I like to do King of Queens, and then lately I discovered Tubi and Pluto has the quality stuff we grew up with, like Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy
Yeah. Yeah.
and Three's Company.
Yeah.
So
Classics. Do they have Taxi too?
I think so.
Oh God, yeah.
Or
That's
Taxi
just,
may be on HBO.
oh, maybe I'll have to look. But yeah, those
Yeah.
were all great shows, all great series.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live was also kicking it back then.
Yes.
Um, they've totally gone down the crapper as far as I'm concerned. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. So, right now I'm working on watching Stranger Things. I'm almost done with season two. Ashley and I are going to do a podcast covering one and two, and then I think we'll do three and four, and then just one on five. So, if you haven't watched it, don't listen, um, to those podcasts because those will be spoilers. Um, Ironically, I've not listened to anything about Stranger Things, so I'm not spoiled. So now next week, which starts tomorrow, I had to keep with these holidays in the middle, I had to keep telling myself, what's the day? What's the day? And I'm sure everybody has been messed up. So today is Sunday. When you listen to this, it will be Tuesday, but tomorrow is Monday. Back to a full work week. While I've enjoyed having off during the holidays, I do look forward to getting back to my regular schedule. I don't know. For me, holidays just aren't the same, I guess, without my parents. And to me, Christmas is for the kids. And I'm learning more and more people aren't going like all crazy and buying gifts for everybody. They either do a grab bag or they pick a family to support, which we would like to do that for Christmas 26. Pick a family or two, especially a single mom, since we've been there. We would like to do that. And I think that is about it for me. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to you, Marie.
Yeah, it's okay, Cosmo. Thank you. So, I wanted to start kind of on a that I want to, but I'm going to start with the hard, sad stuff first. I wanted to give everybody an update on Floki, and I am very sad to say that Floki passed on December 29th. Uh, he was doing really well, at least we thought he was for a couple of weeks there. The last few days before he took a steep decline, he was talking, if you have cats, how they do their little chatter and trilling and chirping, and he was comfortable and relaxed and eating and being more sociable and lovable. And then all of a sudden, he just began to rapidly decline. So my daughter took him into the vet, and they literally said he's going. He's going. There's nothing you could do, nothing they could do. Didn't matter if we had all the money in the world, all the tests, all the whatever. It was just his time. And she needed to kind of accept that and let him go, because by the time, she brought him in a day early because he actually had an appointment the next day for his follow-up. And they said his temperature was only 99.1. If you have a cat, it's usually between I think like 100 to 102. And his breathing was very shallow, like he was barely breathing. So tried to
Oh,
help him so that he wasn't suffering, and we had to let him go. So
no, he was just a baby. It's not
he was
fair.
just a baby. And what's really extra sad is that and I think I'd said he was adopted by a couple. I don't know how long they had them. It was him and another female cat, and then the uh, the partner of the woman that adopted these two innocent babies. He just took it upon himself to kick them out, throw them outside. And that's how this saga started. My daughter was, notified this poor cat was hanging around the house still, and she went to go rescue him and take care of him. And I gotta say, it was all hands on deck. Even Ginger offered to, help with funds, in case to not make money an issue to help this poor baby. So he was very loved. He had a very, safe, stable home, lots of good food, and like I said, lots of love. My daughter would, speak loving to him and speak affirmations and speak life to him, but it was just his time. Sorry, guys. It's just so sad. And I just thought, well, he was only meant to come into our lives for a short time, and maybe someone who's hearing this might recognize the signs when they become real lethargic and weak. And it was just like on a dime. And we're thinking that he probably had FIV. This is what the vet is thinking as well. And it just attacks their immune system. And sometimes they can live with it, and sometimes they just can't. And I'm sure, coming from a shelter, then being in an unstable home, and then being, abandoned outside to fend for himself for 2 days, and then having to adjust with already being sick, didn't help his cause. But he's at peace, and he's with our other fur babies that passed. And I did want to, say their names because we love them too, and we had them a lot longer, but we still love them, still with us in our hearts every day. So Deanie, Capelli, Santino, Daisy, Rocky, and S'mores. And then of course Ginger's babies. I'm sure they're all together on the Rainbow Bridge, and we're all going to see them someday. So I want to thank everybody for their comforting words and their love during this time. And even though we didn't really have him very long, listen to me, I'm a wreck, because they just touch your heart because they're just so innocent and pure. And it's up to us to take care of them and be responsible for them and do your best. If you can't have an animal, you don't think you can be stable or afford them. And I won't even get into the vet costs. That's going to be something I'm going to address later in a different podcast. But there are, and I think we did post it in the last one. We can repost it. There are places that you can go to that have greatly reduced fees that can help people take care of their pets so that they're not in a situation where they're forced between, putting them in a shelter or, God forbid, just opening the door and letting them out to fend for themselves, which I think is the cruelest thing ever, because they don't understand what's going on, and we're not born into that, and they don't know how to take care of themselves. So no, please just don't do that. And I don't recommend insurance either, by the way, pet insurance. I think the way that those plans are structured currently, which are reimbursement, and then only about 20% coverage for, quote unquote treatment services that they do offer. It's not worth it. Save your money, put it in a savings account, or apply for a care credit. So that, because it's not a matter of if, right, Ginger, it's a matter of when. Just like us,
Hmm.
they have their healthy times and then they have their illnesses, and we need to be prepared for that. So, oh, and then on to my next positive segment. Um, I'm starting a new series called Solo and Sovereign, a new era of women choosing singleness. And I want to say, first of all, before everybody gets all up in arms, when I speak about a lot of the reasons why women are single, I'm not going to blanket statement anything. It's not all anything or all anyone. So when I say men, I don't say all men because we know it's not all men. The problem is it's primarily men, predominantly men. That there's a very I don't know, I guess male entitlement issue. And now with the social media out there and women have a phone and they're recording these interactions. And then we're hearing all these stories about, family annihilators, etc. And women are just saying, we're just done. And I think for my generation, for Generation X, where we've been married at least once, sometimes twice or more, we've had our children, we've been through it, and we're supporting ourselves and probably have been supporting ourselves. And I can, you and I, Ginger, both know we were single moms for a long time. Like we did it all. And so we're not looking for someone to come in and rescue us and save us. I think a lot of women are truly looking for a partner, looking for a companion
Hmm.
to share their life with and to build a life with. And I'm sure that there are men out there too that want that as well. So again, I'm not going to say all, and I'm not going to, beleaguer that. But
You're not going to yuck someone's yum.
no, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. If you're in a happy relationship, whether you're married or not, good. God bless you. I hope that continues that way, and I hope you're both doing very well and be an example. On the same token, when women are sharing their stories, their horror stories of the abuse that they've been suffering, that they've suffered through, it's not cool to be like, well, my husband, my boyfriend, they're so wonderful. That's not the conversation that we're having right now. There are platforms for that. Maybe Ginger, you could do that. I'm a married woman. I'm happy. I have a good relationship. We've had a good relationship. That's just not what I'm focusing on. And the reason why I'm not is because I made this choice for myself long ago. This is not a recent decision.
Mhm.
I chose this primarily for myself because of my past domestic violence situations, and not one relationship, but two. And when I was homeless with four children, I made the decision that my children needed me more than they needed me to have a boyfriend or a relationship. And I needed to focus on my first priority, which was my children and then myself. And then once my kids were grown, able to fend for themselves, got their jobs, moved out, then I decided, okay, now it's just for me, mainly to then work on my emotional stuff, my traumas, and then my health. And I thought, this is my era. This is going to be all about me. And the past couple of years, I've really seen a very strong movement of women saying, when they say I choose the bear, they're basically saying, I'd rather do anything more dangerous than be in another relationship, because
Mhm.
that to them is the epitome of them not feeling safe. And they should. And then if they're in that relationship, they should feel safe. They should feel secure. And if they don't, and they're not getting assistance, like I'll give you an example. There are still relationships where, you know, both the man and the woman are living in the same household and they're both working full-time jobs, but the woman is still responsible for the maintenance of the home, the grocery shopping. If they have children, she's responsible for the children. She's responsible for making appointments. She's responsible for going to grocery store. She's responsible for cooking the meals and the man just has to show up, go to job, go to his job, come home, and that's it.
Mhm.
And again, we're not going to say all men, are we, Ginger? Because clearly
No.
it's not all men. But what I am saying is it's primarily and predominantly. So,
Yeah, not everyone got lucky like me and has a DOS.
oh, right, exactly. And here's the thing, and like I said, then you can speak of that too, because every relationship is different. What I'm saying is I'm really resonating and identifying with that, with this all of a sudden out in the open, what women have been talking about in secret or even just between themselves and maybe their best friend and maybe their adult children. I'm just going to be single forever. And they're like, but are you? I'm like, yeah, I think I am, because I have so many more wonderful years ahead of me. I am, making strides in my health, my career. We're doing this podcast. It's fun. And I do feel we are helping people, even if we, as the saying goes, even though it may sound corny, if you even just help one person, it's worth it. And what I wanted to say before we, how many more minutes do we have on this?
Um, Hold on. We're not the only ones that do this. We're at 30, almost 32. We're not the only ones
Okay.
that keep track of time.
Um, because I want this to be a series because there are ways, and really what prompted me to do this is I saw a line of clothing for women to help prevent them from being raped, from being physically assaulted. And I thought, what has the world come to that women have to dress in armor and carry protection, hint, hint, wink, wink, to keep themselves safe when they're out in public spaces or in their own home? Like what's happened to the world that women have to do that?
Mhm.
So I have been doing my own little research, and there's a woman that I recently discovered who is I just have so much respect for her and how I didn't know about her before. I don't know, but her name is Laura Richards, and she's the crime analyst. And she's written a book, and I'm going to start talking about that because I am going to get that book and look at the different things. We as women now have to pick up, one more thing. We have to be able to take care of ourselves in the sense that we need to learn on the fly how to identify the predators and how to quickly identify a problem and how to responsibly and correctly, if you are being bothered by someone, how to file a report, who to follow up with. But I think it all starts with what they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that's going to be my goal, to help as many women, no matter their age group, to help to identify and normalize women asking for help and saying, this is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing. And instead of other women saying, well, maybe you should try harder, or maybe, what did you do to instigate that? What did you do? No, we're not going to blame each other. We're not going to blame a woman when she's asking for help, because we want them to feel that they can reach out. And if you honestly feel you can't talk to anybody, that's okay too. This is why I feel so strongly about sharing this information in our podcast. And I want to do this. The singleness is that when you are single and sovereign, you're taking responsibility for your own life moving forward. And not that it wouldn't be great. I mean, who wouldn't want a loving, caring, protective partner and companion in life? Who wouldn't want that? This one, I think I gave this analogy before, so you'll have to tell me if I've said this before. But one woman gave a really great analogy that, if you had a big bowl of M&Ms, all the beautiful colors and everything, and who wouldn't want to just reach right in there and take a big old handful of M&Ms? But you're also aware that at least 10 of those could kill you. So you're going to approach that bowl of M&Ms with a lot more discernment, a lot more caution or hesitation to kind of see and identify and be able to identify the ones out of the good ones, the bad ones from the good ones. And I think that for me really resonated, because you're like, yeah, because it's hard it can be hard because I think society as a whole wants us to be very guilt tripped. Don't be rude. Don't make him feel bad. You know, if he says hi, you have to say hi back. You have to smile and be happy. And, you know, no, if you're uncomfortable with any of that, it's a no, and we're all going to have to be able to be there for each other and support each other in that situation. That we have to normalize being able to say no to somebody and be like, no, thank you, not interested, and without then being called out as a problem, right? So this is just the first part, and I hope everyone will tune back in for the second part. But I do have things that I'm taking notes on, and I know I'm kind of bouncing around, so forgive me, because this is it's a pretty big topic. But like I said, look up this Laura Richards, and she's done some really amazing work, but as we know, a lot more work needs to be done. And then I want to encourage men to take a step back. Like, as a woman, as a human being, I know that I have to work on me first. And if a person is not happy, if a person is sad or angry, they will take it out on whoever is around them. And that's not right. That's not fair. We're not here to fix each other. We're here to support each other. Then that's really all we can do. And honestly, men, if a woman is interested, you'll know. She'll talk to you. She'll probably approach you. She'll smile at you. If she really wants your attention, she'll make it very clear. Now, just because, I also want to preface that too, just because a woman can be nice and smile at you and maybe say hi, also does not necessarily mean she wants to, strike up a relationship with you. We all have to try to be more respectful of each other's space. And I know it's tough territory now, but I think we can do it together. And men have got to hug it out and let the women do what they need to do to feel safe and comfortable. And I think men, they say men are protectors and providers. Again, not all men, the majority of them have not shown those particular qualities. So that would be really nice to be able to see that again without being coercively controlled by a partner. And as we know, Ginger, right, it can go both ways. Coercive control happens to men and women. And I don't want that for anybody. I've lived through it twice. And no, not acceptable. I don't care who's doing it. But again, and I advocate singleness for men too. Be single for a while. Find your peace. Get yourself grounded. Learn what you can. And just don't put so much expectations on other people to fulfill all your needs. I don't think people are necessarily lonely. To me, lonely means unfulfilled. There's other ways for you to be fulfilled. And that could be through your job. That can be through your hobbies. Start a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be uplifting, right? Be uplifting, be supportive, learn something new. Go fishing, go for a walk with your friends, or just go for a walk by yourself. Time alone is just not given the credit that it's due. It's extremely calming and healing. I can speak from personal experience, which is why I am not interested at this point in my time, because I do have so much peace. I do have so much autonomy and freedom in my life. And I take care of myself. I don't expect anybody to take care of me.
Igor free.
Igor free. Yes.
Okay.
So I hope people will tune in for that. And I'm going to Ginger, you're going to have to help me with the other stuff. But
yeah, we're going to get cut off in a couple seconds.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye. Till next time.
Till next time. We love our scrappy peeps. So thank you all for joining us and becoming part of our flock. So please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like us,
Unfortunately, yo mama. But if you do like us, we look forward to seeing you next time on Two Scrappy Chicks.